we go. Hot take. I think hookup culture, 100% overrated. You actually aren't that happy and bubbly. Your life is easy. I'm taking this as a weird sign from the universe. Overrated or underrated, getting your CPT certification. I'm offended you asked me this. This is like asking me to choose my favorite child. Overrated or underrated, tracking macros to lose weight. You have a high libido. Ooh, we're liking it all over the board today. The assumption is you come from a wealthy family. Alright, you guys. Hello, welcome to officially day 6 of the 12 days of Livfiit series. I was incorrect last video. It is actually now the 6th day, which is crazy because we're already halfway through, which is wild to me. But today's video is going to be very, 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 very interesting. I already know this is going to be so fun to film and to go through, and it's intriguing already to say the least. Essentially on my Instagram, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, at Livfiit, go take a gander if you would like to. I asked you guys to send in either your this or that questions, assumptions about me, or overrated or underrated questions. I was kind of expecting these to be a little bit more like informal, casual, surface level things, and some of these questions are like hitting deep, like about me, like my character. I don't know, I just feel like they're much deeper than I thought they were gonna be, but like, it's fine. Let's like lean into it. First one, pre-workout, overrated or underrated? I think pre-workout is overrated 100%. I think it still has its use, it still has its relevance, it's fun, but I don't think it's as much of a need as people make it out to be. Like, I just don't think it's a need. I think if your nutrition's on point, if your sleep schedule is on point, and your mental state is okay, you should be feeling like you have enough energy to like get through your workout. Biker shorts or leggings? Biker shorts, any shorts. I do just have to say I'm team shorts. It is what it is. Dude, my hair is so staticky for some reason, and I'm not about it, mate. Sweet or savory? 100% sweet. I have the biggest sweet tooth. I could eat a sweet meal and snack every single day for all meals and snacks. Woo, we're liking it all over the board today. Are romantic relationships / SEX, I don't know if I'm gonna get demonetized. I don't even know what the demonetization whatever guidelines are, but like hookup culture, I'm gonna say overrated. I've gotten asked a lot of questions about hookup culture, so we may be revisiting this question again, this subject. I think hookup culture, 100% overrated. Romantic relationships, no. Here we go. Hot take. Romantic relationships, true, genuine, authentic, soul-to-soul love, that is underrated. Whereas these surface level relationships, to have somebody to fill the category and place of a boyfriend or girlfriend, overrated. So I think hookup culture completely is overrated. I think it's not something I'm in alignment with. It takes like the purpose of sharing someone's energy on the intimate level out of context, and I just feel like it kind of desensitizes the importance and the specialness of that intimacy with somebody. And I just feel like people want relationships all the time, but it's like these surface level relationships, like I'm saying, where they just want a boyfriend to have a boyfriend, to fill that role, to give them love, to be someone of comfort, to help them through a hard day. They just want someone of that role, you know, like to go with them to a party, like to have someone to talk to. And I think that's very, 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 very different. I feel very passionate about this. I feel like that's so different from a soul-to-soul, genuine, loving connection. I think there's a very big difference, and that's like the romantic connection that's what I think romantic connections should be. Is it's not about like, I like this person because of XYZ of their resume as a person, of what they bring to the table, because of their job, because of the car they drive, even though I love nice cars. Like, so much deeper than like the things that they offer. It's more so like just who they genuinely are at the soulful level. When you strip everything away, like, does your energy resonate with their energy? Does your presence align with their presence? Like, is your guys' mission on earth in alignment? Like, I feel like it's just so much deeper than that, and that's how I always feel like I personally would like to show up in relationships, is like, if I just feel drawn to a person for whatever reason, and I just love and care for that soul behind all of these achievements and surface level things in the 3D, and if that answer is a yes, then, you know, that to me is a true romantic relationship and connection. There is a balloon on a tree. I'm taking this as a weird sign from the universe, but it's a star balloon hooked on to the branch of my tree, and it's snowing, and it's a silver star balloon. But that was weird. I saw that as soon as I was saying that. Anyways, moving along. Overrated or underrated, getting your CPT certification. Hear me out. I think it's overrated. This is my problem with the certification process. People think that if they just take the course and pass the exam, they're set and are a personal trainer and are qualified to help people, which I think taking the exam still has its merit and it is still necessary for people. I don't think it should like go away. But my thing is, I just think that there's people who don't have a lot of experience who will sit down and are able to pass the exam. It's not like a crazy challenging exam, and then think that they're willing to like able to have all these people's health in their hands, which I do think, you know, experience is a thing. Like, it comes down to just simply gaining experience with working with clients, but at the end of the day, there's also a ton of merit to just having pure experience with the weightlifting realm and with training and all that sort of stuff of trial and error and just pure experience with yourself. And I just think that, I think it's overrated in the sense that people think if they take the course, they know everything there needs to know and they're able to, you know, prescribe all of these workout plans and all that stuff. And I just think it's deeper. I wish there was more to the CPT certification. I just wish there was more moving parts. I wish there was like an in-person part of the exam. Okay, assumption. Something painful led you to focus on personal/spiritual development. Absolutely. I love the quote, pain is where you find your purpose. And I really feel like that's true with everything that I'm pursuing. I would say a couple things like really are what sparked me to go on more of like this spiritual personal development journey. First thing that I'm thinking of in terms of personal development was my family situation growing up, because there was a lot of I'm just gonna go full in this video. There was a lot of kind of turmoil and conflict in my family, a lot of arguing and a lot of toxic patterns in terms of like codependency, narcissism. Those traits definitely showed up within my family dynamics, and I realized kind of pretty at an early age just that like there's toxic patterns with people and with communication, and that's what causes bigger issues. And so it led me to like wanting to make sure that I really knew who I was, how to communicate properly, how to, you know, properly filter through my emotions and communicate my emotions. Seeing that made me want to push me to be like the best person that I could be in terms of like emotional intelligence and just being in tune with who I am and myself, and like having that awareness and intelligence to be able to like properly have healthy relationships with people. Another thing was my first heartbreak. Absolutely. I just wanted to be the best person that I could be as my revenge. I love that quote too. It's like, I forget what it is completely, but just like the best revenge is bettering yourself. And that's kind of how I felt. It was shallow at the time, but I just remember thinking like, I'm gonna try to be the best I can be in all realms so that I will never give anyone else a reason to leave me or cheat on me ever again, which looking back now wasn't the correct really mentality, because I know now like how people treat you is a reflection of them, not really you. So I understand, like, I just felt like I wasn't worthy at that time when I totally was, but I felt like I needed to improve myself through personal development in order to become worthy. Lastly, in terms of like definitely the spiritual development as well, that really came through when I was like at my all-time low with self-confidence, with the relationship with myself, where I felt like I had turned to trying to find self-love and confidence through trying to build a certain physique through weight training. And once I just kept trying, kept hitting a dead end where I just kept digging, and I just, no matter how much progress I made, no matter how much I adhered to my training protocol, to my nutrition, I never freaking found self-love and self-confidence. I just freaking didn't. Maybe I did on the surface level for my ego at times, but it always was fleeting, and it was never there when, you know what I mean, and you were alone and it was the darkest hour at night. So that's where I really turned to spirituality. Overrated or underrated, tracking macros to lose weight. I think it is overrated to an extent. I just feel like people think you have to do it in order to lose weight. It's the only way to do it, but I don't think that's true. You can totally lose weight via mindfully eating, but I will say, if you don't know anything about nutrition, it's super helpful in terms of you gaining awareness on portion sizes, how much you need to decrease your calories, the composition of foods to make sure you're like optimizing your protein composition, all that sort of stuff. So overall, definitely overrated, but I do think it definitely has its place if you're very inexperienced in the realm of nutrition. You prioritize yourself over other people. Yes. Cold-hearted, yes, I do. This isn't something I'm always super proud of, because I think it's to the point where, you know, too much of anything is still too much, where I just feel like it's kind of like, I love this part about myself, that I prioritize myself and I respect myself and my time and my energy and my love that I have to give. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes it's like too far of the edge, where I feel like leaves me being a little bit selfish at times, where I want to be better about finding that balance where, you know, knowing when to put myself first and being unapologetic about it, but then knowing like, okay, it's kind of time for me to show up for other people too. So definitely yes, I'm not always super proud of it. I think it's a strength and a weakness of mine. This or that, podcast or music during cardio? Music. I do not listen to podcasts when I work out. I only listen to podcasts if I'm walking. I don't know how you guys listen to podcasts when you work out. I'm just gonna say it. I can't concentrate. Another assumption, which I got this one multiple times, you actually aren't that happy and bubbly. Here's the thing, which I feel like it's so weird with social media, and I like want to try to explain this for you guys to understand. It's like kind of the same thing like I just said previously. It's kind of like there's like a time and place for things, right? Like I'm not walking around like this all day, every day. Like you're taking it out of context. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just like you wouldn't be like screaming having a party if you're like freaking at a funeral. You know what I mean? Like there's different times for different things. I may not be this bubbly all the time, but like I said, because it's like you would be taking it out of context. Like this when I'm filming, you guys need to picture it like you guys are at home when you guys are like cracked out talking to yourself. Maybe you guys don't do that, but like I have that hyper part of my personality where I'm very animated. I'm a weird individual. I have a weird personality. So I really am this bubbly, but just like when, you know what I mean? When I'm in this mood where I just, you know, want to mess around and like have fun, like this is what I do. So I don't know, that's like a weird question for me to respond to, but like I genuinely do feel like I am this happy and this bubbly. Assumption, thought you were just another fit influencer with no content, but I was totally wrong. Thank you, that was kind. That was honestly a big reason why I struggled with being confident in like what I do and with Livfiit, because I always felt like if people didn't know me, they would just assume that it was kind of like just a shallow thing, like I was just doing what everyone else is doing for likes and attention and all of that sort of stuff. And like I know, and I've like learned to become more confident in my personal intention. I know why I'm here, I know why I'm showing up, I know what my message and intention is with you guys. I'm thankful that it's starting to be seen by you guys, and like you guys are kind of starting to, you know, see that within me, like see that intention and recognize that intention. So I'm thankful for that, and I appreciate that comment, because I hope that this page is more than just a fitness page, you know? You're cool with everyone, but you have a really small circle of friends with whom you share everything. Yes, I've kind of always been like that. I've never had a really big circle of friends, but I've definitely always been, like she said, that was a perfect way to say it. Like, I'm kind of cool with everyone. It's kind of like, oh, what's up? Like, I don't really have any beef. I'm not like weirdly like secluded in any way. I just have always kind of done my own thing. Your life is easy. This is an assumption, obviously. My answer to this is honestly right now in time, yes it is. I'm gonna say it is. And I think that in our society with the hustle culture, this productivity, especially in America, and just like I think the overall perspective that the common collective of society has, it's like people think that like life is supposed to be hard, it's supposed to be challenging, you're supposed to be struggling, there's gonna be hardship. And as much as all of those components fully exist and exist in my life now, they 100% have their place, they have an importance. Like we need those components and facets of life. I've come to be very comfortable and confident and almost proud to say that yes, my life feels easy now, and to me that's how I feel and know that I am on the right track, that I feel like I'm in alignment with my life purpose. Like, and you know, no one really believes me when I'm saying it because I'm doing social media. Like they think it's easy, you know what I mean? Like how hard is it for me to talk to the camera and whatever? I don't necessarily think the work I do is hard, but it takes a very long time. It's time consuming. I'm constantly working on something in terms of Livfiit, whether I'm either posting a freaking story, editing a YouTube video, making content for other brands. But at the same time, so even though yes, I'm working hard, I'm working a lot, I'm working long hours, it still feels easy to me because I'm doing what I love, I'm doing what I feel called to do, I'm doing something that I feel passionate about, that I feel like needs to be said. So it does feel easy to me. Like I'm happy every day because I'm loving what I'm doing. So I am gonna say, yes, my life is easy. I also wanna say like I am very aware that I am privileged. I grew up in a privileged family. There's a lot of things in my life that are privileged, and that's what's making my life easy, and I'm very aware of that, and I'm grateful for that. And at the end of the day, that's almost out of my control. It was the cards that I was dealt, and the best thing and most thing that I could do was be appreciative and grateful for it. But my life is also easy from the decisions that I made to get to this point and the work that I've put in to get to this point. You know what I mean? Like I just think it's all relative and subjective. I think everyone's pain is valid, pain is pain, struggle is struggle, hardship is hardship. And I would be doing myself a disservice and cheating myself if I said my life was always easy, because it definitely has not always been easy, especially growing up in my childhood and everything. But at this point now, my life feels easy and I'm thankful for it. Hip thrusts or stiff leg deadlifts. If I had to choose one, oh my, who did this? Why would you do this to me? This is actually the hardest this or that question. Oh my gosh. I'm offended you asked me this. This is like asking me to choose my favorite child. Oh my goodness, I need to think. Oh my gosh, if I could only pick one. Thrusts or stiff leg deadlifts? I'm genuinely upset you asked this question. Okay, here's my answer, and I'm kind of cheating the system. I think I'm gonna say hip thrusts because it's kind of it's a movement pattern that's like, it's kind of unique. You can't really mimic that movement pattern. But with a stiff leg deadlift, like I could do a good morning. There's other like hip hinge movements that can kind of mimic a stiff leg deadlift for me to get a majority of the benefits. Livfiit or Gymshark? Livfiit, thank you, okay. You've never restricted food or exercise in an unhealthy way. Another assumption, honestly, I'm gonna say false. My freshman year of college, it was my first time I was really trying to go into like a full-on bulk. I definitely had some unhealthy tendencies there for sure, like disordered eating tendencies. If I had to group it into anything, I would personally classify it more so as like orthorexia, like obsessive with healthy eating. Assumption, you're an introvert. Yes, but I would say like the introvert extrovert, you know that, that is an actual like classification. Like I am introverted, but I'm extroverted around the people that are very close to me. Like I am very animated with my family. I'm kind of loud. It's kind of like this. Like when I'm like filming, it's kind of like how you guys would feel if you're like home alone and you're just like cracked out. So this is like kind of like my innermost personality that you guys see because I'm just talking to a camera. But like if I'm around people and especially around people that I don't know, I'm definitely not always like this. I'm trying to get better at it. You don't smoke. Another assumption. They said a substance, an herb. Again, I don't know what gets demonetized, I don't know, but I'm gonna say regardless, I don't smoke anything at all, so that's true. I don't smoke anything. I've never taken a hit of a Juul. I've never taken a hit of a cigarette. That another wicked common assumption, which I don't know if I give this vibe off, if I'm doing something, I don't know, but the assumption is you come from a wealthy family. This is true, yes. I answer that humbly with a humble yes. I'm very aware that I didn't do anything to deserve, you know, this upbringing. It was 100% my dad. It's his accomplishment that he has ownership for, that I've been blessed to come into this family in this lifetime with. But I will say, like, the wealth in my family is very genuinely well deserved. My dad genuinely came from nothing. He did the hard work, got from point A to point B. He didn't get lucky. So yes, but I feel more comfortable and proud to answer yes because I know that my dad just simply worked his butt off because he knew that he knew the life that he wanted. He wanted to have a certain house, a certain lifestyle to be able to share with his children. It was his decision to work that hard to be able to provide us this life that he's always wanted to provide us with. So I proudly say yes, I come from a wealthy family because I'm proud of the work and the accomplishment that my dad has done, and he's been an amazing example in terms of working hard to chase your dreams and knowing that high success is possible with hard work, dedication, and keeping your passion in the front of your mind. This video is crazy, you guys. Your love language in relationships is quality time. False, but good one. It's physical touch. Actually, my top two, definitely, it's physical touch. I'm a toucher. My dad always calls me lover because even with my family, like I want to hug. I just am close to people. I want to touch them. Like definitely my love language is physical touch. And then my close next one is words of affirmation. You're spiritual but not religious. True, definitely I would classify it as more spiritual rather than religious. Another one, you're so in tune with yourself and in love with being alone that you're scared of finding love. False, wrong. I do feel like I'm very in tune with myself and I do love being alone, which I feel like I intentionally worked to get to this point, but that is making me more excited for love because I feel like I'm building myself to ideally be like the best partner that I could be on the other side of the relationship. And so it gets me excited for love. I feel like I'm almost prepping for it. Like I feel like if I can get to be the best person that I could be, have the most self-awareness that I can have, you know, be in tune with who I am, what my needs are, what I want, how I want to show up, and what I'm expecting from others, I think that that's going to allow me to align very well with someone in a very authentic, thorough way. So I think it's making me excited to find love. Assumption, you secretly listen to Latin music. Yes. Ever since going to Spain, like I have a sweet spot for Spanish music. You're not into casual hookups. You prefer to form deep romantic connections. 100,010% true. I generally have nothing against the hookup culture, really. Like I don't look down at people who do it. One of my closest friends, like, she thinks it's a really important, like, exploratory process to, you know, expand and explore, like, what you like, who you are, and also, like, know what you kind of like when you're in that space, when you're in that element. But for me, it's just, like, I just feel like it's something that can be special if you allow it to be special, and I personally want it to be special, and I want that I think it's a very special, like, you're exchanging energy, you're very intimate with someone, and I think that, you know, I have experienced more casual hookups, and I have experienced hookups where I'm with someone who I love, and it's like, it just doesn't compare, and I just feel like it doing a disservice to the initial intention of what that physical intimacy and exchange is supposed to be. I just would so much rather, like, truly, genuinely, really get to know someone and love them for who they actually are, and know them at, like, the deepest core level that I can, and explore one another in, like, these deep, fascinating, expansive, exploratory ways, instead of just trying to dip my toe in so many different shallow ponds. You know, like, let's freaking dive into the ocean with someone, you know what I mean? And, like, really get deep. You have a high libido. I feel like this totally depends on the partner that I'm with. It is just very, very, very true. If I'm not into someone, if I don't have feelings for someone, it's like I'm trying to get a rock to turn me on. But if I'm very into you, very different story. College, overrated or underrated? I think college is overrated. I think there's way too much emphasis on it. I think people think you don't have you know, you can't have a future if you don't go to college. So many of the people that I look up to now in the lives that I want to have, the paths that I want to pursue, they didn't finish college. They didn't go to college. So again, I think it has its merit. I think it has its place depending on what you want to go for. If you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, obviously college isn't overrated. But if there's more, like, you know, entrepreneurial routes you want to go through, or real estate, all that sort of stuff, like, college may not be necessary for you and could quite literally kind of be a waste of time. You can either choose blue skies or the gym. What is going on, you guys? Blue skies. Blue skies. If I had to choose one for the rest of my life, blue skies. If I could never see a blue sky no, I would be sick if I chose the gym over being able to see blue skies for the rest of my life. You have always felt sure in yourself. Yes and no. I think I've always definitely have heard, you know, some people, like, just don't know what their passions are. They just don't know what they genuinely want to do. They just don't, you know, if you're like, well, what do you want to do? They're like, I don't even know my answer. I do feel like I've always been aware and have always heard my, like, inner inkling of, like, these little passions that I've always wanted to pursue and explore. But I will say I have not always felt sure in myself in terms of having self-confidence. Definitely not. I struggled with like, self-doubt a ton all throughout college, majorly. You're an Olympian. You have always been mature for your age. Honestly, yes. I don't really even know how to explain this, but I've always felt that way. Like, I remember even, like, 14, 15, I always had these very weird, I almost want to say, like, spiritual experiences and weird, like, perspective shifts. I always had interesting perspectives on things, and I've always found myself, like, being able to extract a bigger picture from situations. I definitely always feel like I've been mature for my age. All right, you guys. Woo! That was a long one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like a lot of topics were covered and explored. If you did, don't forget to give this video a little thumbs up to support the video, and also subscribe if you haven't already to join us on the journey of the 12 days of Livfiitmas. Blue skies are finally starting to peek through right now, which is lovely. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.